Alright, let's continue with the final act of 3.5, which is 3.56. Anyways, without further delay, Kira, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged, meaning we still have no idea how long it will be before a communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Words from Gridania. The council will shortly be reconceived. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the primal, of course. As of Yustola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seatier doubtless shares your concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Then I suggest we leave the racing stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus stand.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay, Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes, you're in Eorzea.
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man, are you all right?
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Okay, I like that character. really, really do like the character development. He's like, oh, I can do anything, and proceeds to pass out from exhaustion. Bum, ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. Conjurers go. Welcome, Warrior Light, this way, if you please.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that.
Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanau since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartanau while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word? As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartanau and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Alright, let's complete this. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alize is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let's be off. Airship landing. Akira, Alphino, ready to go. The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment. Lest you wonder, Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set a course for Cartanero? Might I ask for that we delay the departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours of at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such times as you have finished procrastinating. All right, well, Alphino speaks with his colleagues. I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. My apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Yustola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Akira, pray accompany Alice back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right, everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. You traveling with Master Garland, Miss? The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones then? Oh, I have to speak with Nero. That's surprising. What's Alice got? One was created to capture Bahamut, the other to surpass him. Which will prove the stronger, I wonder. Fear not, I shall keep an eye on our new ally. I know Nero's a guest here, but we don't exactly have the happiest history with the Empire, do we? So my question is to you, do I offer him tea? Of course, you're so kind. But like, totally trip and then just pour that tea right near his man parts and we'll be fine.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu! Why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly. But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri, you draw steel against the curs of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
Alright. Akira, wait. Could I speak with you for a moment? Did you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we ambushed you? Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I want you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on right now if you like. Oh, this piece. Okay. I think I remember this. This is usually my glam for my summoner and my magic. Yes. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me to have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light. Well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to bring you home. May it always protect you. Alright. I would say this cuts this... wait just a second. I want to talk to a few people. Just the two unexpected guests, then. Still, I suspect that each will prove useful to his own way. My blade shall carve a path through the Empire's ranks as a scythe foul stalks of wheat. Never did I think to hear Gosetsu's voice echo through these halls. How dare he mock the Scions like that? If I ever had a set of traveling clothes for him, I just might forget to take out the pins. The Mark 14th Thermocoil Boilmaster. Dear me, how reasonable much the previous 13th iterations have been. I could design a more effective water heater in the time it took that ill-conceived lump to become lukewarm. I think he's going to fit right in. I had no idea Domans could be so loud. He and Yugiri could hardly be more different. Anyways, we shall proceed in the next and, final episode of Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. Till then, fare thee well.